Today we've got to wipe the polish off the frame and the other painted parts, and then we also have to clean and reassemble the front wheel. That's what's happening on this episode of Featherstone Bicycles. Alright, so the first thing we're going to do is get the polish off of the frame. See there, the painted parts came out very nice considering they're 71 years of age. So I've had the I did this after I turned the camera off last week, but I did put the bearing cages. I took the balls out of the cages and put the balls and the cages in the solvent here to soak. The spoke nipples, I did look for, if you remember when I was taking the wheel apart, I had one spoke nipple that was shorter than the other ones. I did look through my stash. I couldn't find anything that was this long. I did find in the new old stock stash that I have, I did find this length of nipple, but they're silver. And these have a brass color to them. So, I originally had a plan to maybe change all of the nipples to those silver ones, but again, the owner, Mike, wanted to keep it all original. So we're going to use these and then just use that short one. But they're very greasy, as are the spokes. So I'm going to have these soaking in some solvent as well. And then I'm going to run some steel wool with the solvent across the spokes. Whereas if you're been with the channel for a while, you know I usually just rub those off in the sink a little bit, but and then put them on the wire wheel. But these I think are going to need some extra attention. So the spokes came out good with that method of doing it in the parts washer with some steel wool, but you can't really get the ends, the heads, I guess you'd call them, or the threads. So I will do that on the wire wheel, and we'll be putting the spoke nipples on there to clean those up as well after they were soaking in the solvent. Then I'll hit up the axle and cone nuts. The hub and the dust caps I was able to just clean up with some a little bit of steel wool to get some rust off the hub, and then some Q-tips on the dust caps. So that'll be good enough for those. And the last piece we need to clean up is the rim, which I've just got some warm water in the sink there, again, just to keep down the dust. I've got the little wire wheel on the cordless drill, and we'll get to work on it. As usual, that method works really well to get that chrome back to its original shine. As I mentioned at the beginning, I've got some of this Brooks, from the Brooks Saddles Company in England. It's called a maintenance kit. It actually comes with a rag, leather dressing, and it comes with a little wrench for tightening up that nut that's under there. Okay, let's see. I have used quite a bit of this in the past on some Brooks saddles that I have, and a very old tool bag for a bike, which you'll hear about once I reach 1,000 subscribers. Got a special bonus episode planned for that event. Now I'm just going to put a little simple green in here. I want to clean up this reflector. that goes on the leather strap. That looks nice and shiny. I'm going to use some steel wool to clean up the metal part around the edges. Get the back side a little bit. Well, I had a bit of a hiccup. This might be in the category of no good deed goes unpunished. I thought might as well go the distance and clean up. Well, the nut, of course, was very, very rusty, but I also wanted to clean up the bolt part of the reflector. And while I was doing it, I lost control of it, and it got jammed up in there. And not only did it scratch it, it melted it. But there is some good news in all this. That was on the front wheel, and there was nothing on the back wheel. Well, there actually is a reflector on the back, so I guess not all is lost. Anyway, the point is, from the Schwinn honey hole, I actually have a clear one, which is what you probably should have on the front of the bike anyway. Maybe they had green back in the day, but of course, you know, as time went on, it was a clear reflector in the front and a red reflector in the back. So I'm just gonna put this on there, and that should be, seems like it should be appropriate. And the last step in the cleaning process is going to be getting these cages a little dried out and then cleaning up the balls, putting them back together into the cages. I mentioned back, I think in the last video when I was taking the wheel apart, that this is a 4-cross, not a 3-cross. And the only difference between the two is that when you start out, you have your one hole you pick out on the hub that lines up with the valve stem hole, which I seem to have lost. Here it is. And then from that hole, you count, on a 3-cross, you count 4 to the right, and from that hole, 3 to the left. You just add one more hole. So there's 8 holes total, including the hole, your reference hole, and there's 10 in a 4-cross. So there's 8 in a 3-cross, 10 in a 4-cross. So I'm gonna use this hole right here. I try to find a hole on the hub that has some kind of a little scratch or something. There's a little indentation right here on this one, so I remember which one it is. And I go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And that is an under. So I put a spoke in there. It goes under the hub is what that means. And it is the second hole to the right of the valve stem hole. So I put a nipple on there. Then going back to your reference hole, which is this one right here, you're now going to go 4 to the left. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's going to be an over. So that's going to come from underneath. And that is going to go just one hole to the left of the valve stem hole. Get a nipple on that. Then, always the tricky bit is that from the first spoke that's under here, you want to find the hole on the opposite side that is down from that. Again, the holes on this side of the hub do not line up perfectly with the holes on this side of the hub. They're actually halfway in between. So you want to find the hole that's right there, that it's, yes, down from this one. So you got to eyeball it. You got to use your eye-chrometer. And I'm pretty sure it's this hole right here. And that one will be an opposite. So that's going to be an over. As I've said in the past, you will know pretty quickly if you have not gotten this right, because things will start to unravel on you very quickly. And you'll have to take it all apart and redo it. Now on this side, you want to find the hole that is up from this one, so it's in between these two holes. And that appears to be this hole right here. And that one is an under, so it comes in from underneath. And that's this. And that goes to the next hole to the left of the previous one. So now what you've got is you've got the first two spokes, 2 on one side, 2 on the other, on either side of the valve stem hole, which is right here. Then the only other thing you need to do, pretty sure, yeah, everything else is kind of the same as the other one, is that they're going to alternate here. So you're going to have an under, an under, an under, an under, an under, and then an over. So we did that right. Then we put this one under, the next under here, bend it a little bit, and it is going to go 4 holes to the left of that first one you put in, of course not counting the valve stem hole. So 1, 2, 3, it's going to go right here. And then at that point, it's just tinker toys, because they're going to put all the unders in, then all the overs in, turn it around, do exactly the same thing. Now that we've got all the spokes in, it's on to the truing process. Is now nice and true, both that way, and you can see up there I can switch these so the rims rub on top here, but I'm not going to do that right now. The one thing I will tell you is that while I was putting the wheel back together, that little shorter spoke nipple by 1/8 of an inch wouldn't fit on there, so I ended up having to use one of the longer ones. And it's silver, but I don't think anybody will care or notice. I'm going to hold off on putting the tire inner tube on there and let that rim dry out since I had it under the water. Thanks for sticking with me, and I hope to see you next time on Featherstone Bicycles.